Welcome to yet another interesting episode of The Startup. In this episode, I'll be joined by Chance Wisia of Nafasi Outfitters. He started this business with a capital of 30,000 Kenyan shillings. How he did it? After the break. Welcome back. I'm now joined by Chance Wisia of Nafasi Outfitters. Karibu sana Chance.
Thank you.
You started your business with a capital of 30,000 shillings.
Yeah.
How did that come to happen?
Okay, prior to the beginning of the business, I used to help my parent because I was just fresh from college and I didn't have much to do. So she had me join her, but because I still needed to pay my bills and something, she had to just pay me something small so that I ran her business for her. So over time, I accumulated the 30,000 shillings, and because I wanted also to do something with my life, I decided to start small.
In which line of business are you in?
Okay, now I'm in the manufacturing of school uniforms. We start doing the uniforms from primary to secondary, even staff uniform.
With the 30,000, how did the journey begin?
Okay, the journey began like this. First of all, I had to get my own customers. I had to get the machines. I had to get a place where I could, like an outlet, you know, where the business will run very fast. So I just made some small samples using the machines that my parent had, because the 30,000 shillings could not buy the machines and still buy enough capital to start. So she let me use her shop first because she decided that she could still incorporate me into her business as long as the business are complementing. If she's selling staff uniform, the shirts and the trousers and everything, I'll do the sweaters. All the sweaters will belong to me so that we don't bring about confusion or conflict of interest.
And how did you move out now to start Nafasi Outfitters?
Okay, over time this business started growing. I started taking much of her space, you know, and you know ladies, they like a place tidy. So over time I decided that it was time for me to branch out.
Business registration, how did you go about it?
Okay, business registration, over time, as I was helping my mom, that's when I learned about the Kenya Youth Banner. Luckily for me, the place where I was operating the business, just a few blocks is where the youth business forums were taking place. So whenever the business was not free, I would just see some youths going to some hall somewhere there. And over time, I asked one of them what happens inside that hall. And he welcomed me. He told me that they have a talk with the entrepreneurs. They teach them how to do business. So from the education that I got, I realized that it was necessary for me to register my business if I wanted to see it grow.
So the training took you from business registration to what else?
Yeah, the training took me from business registration. It also showed me how to keep records. Records are very crucial for a business. You know, you have to know if you're making a profit or a loss, you know. Sometimes even you have to know the materials, the stock you have, if you have to add more stock. So bookkeeping was very crucial. I understand from that. And also they also taught us how to present ourselves as business people. Etiquette, customer etiquette, how to open the business and run it, yeah. How to handle challenging customers. I learned a lot from the Youth Banner. Yeah, it was surely a big stepping stone for me.
What products do you have at the moment?
At Nafasi Outfitters, we make school sweaters, and we also make tracksuits for the games kit. Yeah, even we have also been getting orders from people who are joining the military and the NYS and the police. You know, they are also being advised to come with their tracksuits. They are given a color. Yeah, so the tracksuit business is also doing well. It's complementing with the sweaters.
And what is your professional background? Because you have just mentioned to us that this is a training that your mom really helped you to grow. What is your professional background?
My professional background, I went to university and I graduated in 2013 in a degree in education science and information technology. But I branched out. I started getting interested in business because I realized that I was getting a lot of income from it. Yeah, I'm still, I thought it was complementing with what I had studied. Mm-hmm. Yep.
As an entrepreneur, have you faced any challenges?
Sometimes we have seasons, you know, like now the schools have closed, you know, so the sales do go down. So you have to keep like a kitty to help to make you run the business. When the good times are favorable to the business, you also have to have some savings. So that was challenge number one. And challenge number two is also sourcing for laborers, you know, especially the sweaters business. The guys are very rare. You only find them in employed by the Indian businesses, you know. So also looking for laborers was quite a challenge.
Mm-hmm. And how are you overcoming all this?
Okay, with time, I realized that you also have to cushion yourself. So I keep a kitty, and when the times are good, I also remember that I should also keep a kitty. And I branch out, I start diversifying, you know. I don't make sweaters only and tracksuits. I also start taking orders for the other types of uniforms, say socks, say what. And I also realized that you don't only have to sell to schools, you know. You can still talk with people who operate companies and something like that. You can make aprons for them, overalls, you know. Yeah.
What about this notion, fundi wa nguo? How are you overcoming, and how did you overcome that?
Oh, wow, yeah, that's also another aspect, especially with this generation and the guys that I hang out with also, you know. But says somebody is a doctor, somebody maybe is a banker, and this is chance, he decided to be a fundi wa nguo. Well, money talks. That's all I would say. Money talks. They're all gonna talk, but at the end of the day, money talks. At the end, before the end of the month, you'll hear somebody telling me, my pay slip is not, it has not yet come. Can you give me some like 2K? So at the end of the day, they'll think, this guy is doing well after all. I think even I'll start opening a side business like this because the guy seems to always be having some cash. So I don't mind it. I just overcome it. Yeah, I just overcome it. You have to be confident, you know, and you also have to play your business professionally, you know. It's not what you do, but how you do it, you know. You add a touch of gold to it. Yep.
In this line of business, how do you set yourself apart and your products to beat competition?
Okay. First of all, I try to create a relationship with the customer, you know, a kind of a good relationship with the customer, so that the customers will keep coming back, you know. I'm also quite aggressive. I'm quite aggressive in the business. I like waking up early in the morning, you know, opening the business right in time, you know. You keep the business clean, you know. Something which I learned from the youth banner, you know. They told us how to run a business comfortably, you know. You should be quite aggressive. The customer should see that this is a serious business. I want to miss a commodity. If I give them an order, they surely will supply. Yeah, and also, you know, in this line of making things, you also have to have an element of honesty. You don't have to tell the customer that you'll supply the commodity in time and then you get late. So it's good to explain to yourself, to the customer in time. You tell them to give you patience, and then you minimize the conflicts. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Chance, looking at you, you are young. You're also young in business, but you're really thriving. Now, what lessons have you learned since you started the business?
Like one of the things I learned is that not all the times are good for a business person. So you should keep a kitty, you know. You're not like the guys who receive a payslip, they are sure with their daily bread. So with an entrepreneur, you should be very careful. You should minimize on wastages, minimize on expenses, and maximize on your savings, you know. And I also learned that it's also good to coordinate with other fellow business people. Yeah, you learn a lot from them. Create a good relationship with them. Don't just have like this rival relationship. No, competition is also good for business. You learn where commodities, how somebody works, the markets, you know, what made them get to where they are. Yeah. So I network a lot.
And what is the place of mentorship, like what the Youth Banner is doing?
Oh, wow. That's very fundamental because when you are new in business, you need somebody to tell you the do's and the don'ts. And that's what Youth Banner did. Youth Banner taught me how to operate a business and how to run it professionally. You know, the bookkeeping things, you know, most people don't know about the bookkeeping, or they just assume it. They keep shoddy records, you know. And the Youth Banner, they also taught us the value of networking, you know, and how to create markets, to expand your markets. Don't just stay in one market, you know. I realized that the marketing aspect is very right, because if you have a wider market, that means your sales will be more frequent, you know.
Before we wind up the show, what is your advice to other business startups outside there?
Oh, my advice to other business startups out there, basically, I will tell them not to give up quite easily, because some people start the business is not even 1 year old, say maybe 3 months, 4 months. Along the line, maybe the tough times come up, or maybe the business is in short season and they give up. They jump to another business of which they don't have an experience. So I would like to tell them to first grow in the business. Give it time, you know. Give it time. It's like a child, you know. Sometimes you rear it and then you know that it will take care of itself when it grows, when it starts standing on its foot. So one thing is the value of patience is very crucial. Yeah. And another thing I will also tell the young people is to seek mentorship also. Mentorship is very crucial because you learn from the guys who have been there. They know the do's, the don'ts. They know the mistakes, yeah, and they can also connect you to markets and such. Like the Youth Banner is a very important institution. It's helping the youths, yeah, even especially from the not very privileged societies. I've seen them change the way the youths think. You know, instead of just being a job seeker, you can also start being a job creator. You don't have to start big, you just have to start small.
5 years from now, where will we see Nafasi Outfitters?
For every business, everybody wants to grow. Nobody wants to stagnate. For me, in the next 5 years, I would like to run a professional company, you know, complete with a manager, cleaners, everything. I would like to see the business grow. I would like to expand my markets and expand diversity, and I will also sell the machines and everything, and even start selling the commodities that make the brands. I don't want also only to be a supplier only. I also want to be a manufacturer and a distributor. I want to climb the ladders, you know. I don't just have to sell the finished product. I'll also start importing the materials from wherever, because this will cut down on the prices even if I start selling as a retailer or as a wholesaler. As long as I know where the products come from and I can afford to import, I think I'll be somewhere.
Powerful. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion. And in fact, I've learned something from you. Tough times never last, but tough entrepreneurs last. After the break, how they were started, then later on a startups expert. Don't go away.